signing of an agreement that will operationalize the SASSCAL Research Chair in Water Resources, Quantity and Availability. Without much further ado, I would want to invite Dr. Errol Nawama, our Vice Chancellor here at the Namibia University of Science and Technology, to give us his welcome remarks. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Director of Proceedings, for this opportunity. Good morning, everyone. I see very familiar faces this morning and also some new faces in the Senate chambers. I see presence of Deputy Vice Chancellor, Acting Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research, Innovation and Partnership, Dr. Colin Stanley. Ms. Miriam Dikua, our Deputy Vice Chancellor for Finance and Operations. I see our colleagues from Botswana University of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Acting Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Matibele. I also see very familiar face, Jane, from SASSCAL. If I look around the room, I see presence of the executive deans of our faculties. I see Dr. Shungula. Who else is here? Yes, Prof. Funushafa. Any other executive deans? I see Executive Director, Dr. Anna Matuas Koreses. As per the protocol I received this morning, also recognize the presence of Prof. Wango. Yes, Dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies and Research. BUAN, is that the way one pronounces it? All right, here we have two pronunciations for NAST. Some people say NUST, others say NAST. So I just needed to make sure which pronunciation is befitting. Also, I see presence of our the two chairs, Professor Amwala and Dharam Singh. Yes, yes. May I rest on the protocol, ladies and gentlemen? All protocol is observed. It's a very joyous occasion today as we mark yet another milestone that embodies and typifies what we generally term as internationalization and international cooperation. The purpose this morning is to sign a cooperation agreement that underpins a joint undertaking for a UN chair. And therefore, it gives me great pleasure to once again welcome our partners in this pursuit, the Botswana University of Agriculture and Natural Resources, represented here by Prof. Matibele, the acting Deputy Vice Chancellor. At this occasion, I think also it is befitting to recognize the contribution by SASSCAL. SASSCAL has always been there to strengthen capacity in the SADC region and bringing the various actors and role players in the pursuance of academic excellence and knowledge exchange, represented here by Dr. Jane. Always a pleasure to have you amongst us. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, it is a great honor for me to be here with you on this occasion. of the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between BUAN and NUST on the establishment of SASSCAL chair on water quality and availability. Cooperation agreements are imperative to strengthen partnerships and create new opportunities and solutions. We view this particular partnership as a means of creating, developing, and distributing knowledge in order to advance research, new talent, technologies, and deploying novel products for the benefit of our two countries and beyond. MOU commits us to work together. Emphasis on work together. I think once the MOU is signed, the chair has now the responsibility to ensure that we work together. The MOU commits us to work together more closely towards our common goal, the pursuance of internationalization of education. Director of Ceremonies, I think it is important just to give a little bit of a context of the importance of this joint chair. Research shows that out of 326 million cubic miles of water on our planet that we so dearly love, it is estimated that 97% of that is the oceans. I'm sure the colleagues in Botswana wonders what ocean is. You're more than welcome every December holidays, Namibia, experience our pristine coastline, and our ocean. We share with you anytime. That wasn't meant to be a joke, right? Okay, I want to just emphasize that. So it is estimated that 97% is in the oceans and is too salty to be used for drinking or producing crops or most industrial uses, except cooling. I want to say here, it is true, but recently we've realized that there is a far more greater opportunity in terms of usage of our water resources. Part of that has been the emergence of green hydrogen and how we can tap into these resources and create energy that can transform our economic sectors. But nonetheless, it says here that only 3% of the water on the planet is fresh. And of this very small percent, not all of it is accessible, due to the fact that Botswana and Namibia are amongst the driest countries in sub-Saharan Africa. We must ensure that the limited water we actually have is available in sufficient quantity and quality. It is against this background that SASSCAL Graduate Studies Program in Integrated Water Resources Management was established in response to a need for adequate human resources in water management and sciences, particularly in the SASSCAL member countries and SADC in general, to support the efforts and activities of SG, SP, NAST in cooperation with BUAN, is committed to jointly establishing a SASSCAL research chair in water resource quantity and availability hosted by BUAN. It is my hope that this chair will facilitate collaboration between high-level internationally recognized researchers and teaching staff from BUAN and other institutions in the 5 SASSCAL countries, namely Angola, Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, and Zambia. The SADC region as a whole, and also our technical partners in the pursuance of this excellence is Germany and beyond. In addition, the chair will work closely and collaboratively with SGSPIWRM. I always find this such a long acronym. Doctoral student supervisors to strengthen the capacity in designing and executing interdisciplinarity in line with key thematic areas of the SGSP. Furthermore, I am reliably informed that the chair will promote an integrated system of research, training, information, and documentation on water resource quantity and availability. This will support development and deployment of innovative excellent and collaborative education and research at PhD degree level, complemented by selected tailor-made training programs for decision makers and industry. This speaks to our mandate of capacity development and ongoing professional development. Allow me to inform you, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the SGSP is purposefully housed at the HTTPS. Yeah, that's for high-tech transfer plaza select. Now, it's more than a building. Oftentimes people refer to it as a building. What it is simply is that it is a groundbreaking showcasing of thought leadership that embodies and typifies how private-public partnerships can converge intellectual capital in one physical space. It happens to be that in the past, in a country as small as Namibia, we would have our R&D centers spread out in small areas. Now, this is a new and a groundbreaking thinking from two major institutions to bring those R&D centers under one roof and thereby maximizing the possibility of creating value that has greater market potential. So it's a new way for us as a university. It's a new way of thinking about how we raise resources in the third, fourth, and the fifth stream income possibilities, meaning it lessens our reliance on government subsidy. And already we're beginning to see revenue being created through what we call business to academia engagement, business to business engagement, and so forth. This is a complete paradigm shift in how we engage with the industry, because the industry are now physically in the same space with us. So oftentimes people say it's a beautiful building, and I'm saying if you could just know what is inside the DNA of that building, is really the thought-provoking initiatives that is taking place there. And some of the professors here are able to talk to businesses on daily basis and make sure that that knowledge transfer happens almost seamlessly on daily basis. They are able to use the market as a soundboard that informs at the same time how they conduct research, teach, so that our students are market ready and improves their possibility for employability. So I just wanted to say it's a beautiful building, but it is more than a building. It represents me also, a very beautiful person, as you can see, but it's more than what you see. Did I take that too far? It's a joyous occasion, so I hope it's befitting. Colleagues, I would like to take this opportunity to assure you that NAST is committed to ensuring the successful implementation of this collaboration. At this moment of celebration, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone whose dedication and efforts have contributed to the finalization of this MOU. Kindly convey our heartfelt gratitude to the Vice Chancellor of BUAN for the willingness to cooperate and for giving his support to this partnership. With these few remarks, I thank you and you're welcome.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, it's always difficult to speak after you have spoken. You are so articulate, yet the message is very clear. And building on the sentiments you have expressed in terms of innovation, I would also want to reiterate the importance of today's event and to acknowledge the cooperation and the support that has been extended by SASSCAL in terms of establishing this innovative platform where we have got a research chair that can drive and support our aspirations and our innovative ideas to provide solutions within the water sector in Southern Africa. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, delegates, help me to invite and welcome Dr. Jane Olbrook, the Executive Director of SASSCAL, for her to deliver her remarks as well. You will note there's a slight change in that order, and it was quite deliberate on our part. Thank you. Dr. Jane.
Thank you very much, Program Director. And I just want to thank Dr. Errol before I start for making this occasion easy to maneuver. I believe today, I think most of us are so much stressed about so many complicated things, and we fail to appreciate the simple things of life. And I think this is what we need. And in that whole complexity, we even fail to appreciate the air that we breathe in. So I think it's high time we looked at the simple things that actually make us human beings. So thank you, sir, for doing that. Dr. Harold, Vice Chancellor NAST, and I've also realized that the Vice Chair of SASSCAL Board has connected. Dr. Ngurare, thank you, sir, for connecting. Prof. Otusiti, I think. Otusiti Madibela, Acting Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs and Research, BUAN. DVCs of NAST and Deans. Dr. Anna Matros, my colleague, and now Executive Director, Directorate of Research, Innovation and Partnerships at NAST. And I've also seen deans, supervisors of our students. Dear colleagues, our students, I'm very happy to be here today. On behalf of SASSCAL, I'm very pleased to have been invited to this event in which we see the practical realization of the SASSCAL research area in water resources, quantity, and availability. I'm very happy to be here. And for NAST, you should know that for SASSCAL, NAST is home. So every time you call us, we come home. And it's natural that I'm here today. Dear colleagues, over the years, and as a result of anthropogenic climate change, the water resources in Africa, and SADC in particular, are diminishing to vanishing points. I therefore ask myself that if water is life, as one said before, then the absence of water could mean no life or another form of life. Are we prepared for this? So diminishing water resources are not only a function of climate change, but our ever-increasing demand for water and good impacts and also negative impacts, like reduced water availability as a result of pollution and diminishing water resources, as I say, to mention but a few. We have been taught through bad experiences that quantity of water does not imply availability. Those days when we were growing up, we knew quantity of water means it's available. But as the VC said, a lot of water is somewhere, but it's not accessible. And now it's even made worse by so many things like pollution, mining, acid mine, drainage, sedimentation, even increase in nitrogen from agriculture activities. And all these make water availability extremely stressed. And as the VC said, now we need more water for green hydrogen. Where do we get this water? More and more pressure and more need for water for our survival and survival of the planet at large. So SASSCAL, NAST, and ICWGC, the VC was talking about abbreviation. Our German partner is called International Center for Water Resources and Global Change. So every time I try to read the abbreviation, I tell myself, rather say the whole name, because it gets very complicated. So the three institutions and ASAC is our academic and advisory committee, thought very carefully about the kind of research chairs that are relevant and will strengthen our students. And thus, the SASSCAL research chair in water resources, quantity, and availability. And all three interlinked but stressed at different levels. Water resources, very much stressed. Quantity, extremely stressed. And availability, something that we all wish it could be better. So we are very grateful that BUAN to have availed one of their best to actually take up this challenge. And thank you, Prof. Benson, to accept our offer. SASSCAL will support you wherever we can to enable you realize the goals. To our students here today, you know how much we love you and treasure you. And as Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And education also gives you choice and gives you freedom. SASSCAL and our partners will continue to look out for opportunities for you, but the final output will be determined by yourselves. And remember, education alone isn't the answer. Character will make your education flourish. And as I call to you, dear students, you're studying water, so be like water, making it through the cracks. Do not be assertive, but maybe a little bit assertive, but adjust to the object, and you shall find a way around or through it. If nothing within you stays rigid, outward things will disclose themselves. So dear colleagues, as I conclude, may I thank you all, especially the VC, Dr. Harold, colleagues, to invite me and wish you, NAST and the team, great progress and success. Thank you very much.
You can trust Dr. Jane Allwork to always speak about adaptation in a subtle way, but the message is still clear. And I'm sure our doctoral students here present are being guided and reminded of their value and the value they also have to give when they leave this particular university and transform lives and the sectors within their respective countries, as well as the SADC region. We have been talking about the SASSCAL Research Chair in Water Resources, quantity and availability. Just a quick question to the audience. Can someone distinguish between a research chair holder and a research chair program? Anyone? Holder and the actual research chair. What is the distinction? Thank you so much. I was actually waiting for the last part which you have reiterated, because a research shareholder will lead a portfolio and will be leading the efforts, but they don't work in isolation. So it's quite important that we also hear the vision that Professor Itiro Benson Moalafi, who is the research shareholder for the SASSCAL Research Chair in Water Resources Quantity and Availability, to speak to us in terms of what he's hoping to do, not on his own, but collaboratively with SASSCAL partners, with NAST researchers, with BUAN researchers, and our SGSP students. Professor Moalafi, good morning, sir. We are looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you. Good morning, Rennie.
Please proceed, sir.
I hope my slide is showing and I'm audible. Director of Ceremonies.
Yes, Paul. Very much so.
Okay. Thank you, Director of Ceremonies, the SASSCAL Graduate Studies Program in IWRM, Program Director, Ms. Reni Munyai, who is my dearest sister. And thank you, NAST Vice Chancellor, Dr. Naumap, for your momentous welcome remarks. Thank you, Dr. Ulosh, the SASSCAL Director, for your inspiring remarks. Great pointers for securing our water resources, not surprising from a person of your caliber, always for your able leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed, good morning. It is indeed a great honor and privilege for me to give a brief overview of the Research Chairs program as the SASSCAL Research Chair in Water Resource Quantity and Availability on this occasion of the Memorandum of Understanding signing between the Namibian University of Science and Technology and the Botswana University of Agriculture and Natural Resources. As already introduced, I am Dr. Robinson Moalafi, the Research Chair in Water Resource Quantity and Availability. I am very pleased to see NAST and BUAN committing and reaffirming their partnership this way. My scope of the presentation will cover 4 major points. I will have a quick overview of the SGSP IWRM, and come into the roles of the research chair, and then some snippets on the research chair's work plan, and finally converging with the concluding remarks. So in support of SASSCAL's research agenda and express the needs of the regional water sector for highly qualified professionals, and NAST established the SASSCAL Graduate Studies Program in IWRM. Of course, with implementing partners, we have the Namibian University of Science and Technology, and we have the International Center for Water Resources and Global Change based in Germany, all backed up by the German government, which we are very grateful to through the Federal Ministry of Education and Research. So the overarching objective of the program, SGSP IWRM, is the development and deployment of innovative, excellent, and collaborative education and research at PhD degree level, complemented by selected tailor-made training programs for decision makers and industries. So the program endeavors to increase, 1, the number of highly qualified IWRM experts and knowledge in the region by providing scholarships to excellent PhD students, as already alluded to by Dr. Oloch. 2, promote innovation in interdisciplinary education and research. 3, transfer know-how and diffuse new methods, practices, and tools for IWRM through offering tailor-made short courses and specialized training to practitioners. 4, provide a national platform for knowledge sharing, policy development, advice, thereby integrating and coordinating regional initiatives. 5th, support internationalization of research and human capacity over the region. And lastly, design and accredit an innovative demand-based integrated PhD program in IWRM. So a list of broad research priority areas that are translated into PhD topics and projects is provided below as from the SASSCAL Science Plan of 2021 to 2024. We have main thematic areas of water and wastewater systems and technology. We have hydrology and geohydrology. We have water security under climate change and environmental change. We have sustainable water, energy, and food security. That is the WWF nexus. So as the SASSCAL Research Chair, I'm focusing on water resource quantity and availability. Of course, I was appointed and subsequently inducted into the research chair in October 2022. And the induction was through the 23rd WaterNet Symposium that was in Sun City, South Africa in October last year. Of course, I'm looking forward to my partner in the SASSCAL Research Chair in water resource reliability and quality. Ladies and gentlemen, when we move to the work plan of the research chair, as you can see, we have a vision of the research, the work plan of the researcher, which is anchored from the aspirations of the program itself, captured here simply as developed and deployed innovative, excellent, and collaborative education and research at PhD degree level, complemented by selected tailor-made training programs for decision makers and industry towards an integrated system of research, training, information, and documentation of water resource quantity and availability in the 5 SASSCAL countries and the SADC region. Ladies and gentlemen, Article 3.2 of the same Memorandum of Understanding that is going to be signed here today by my superiors contains specific objectives of the researcher, from which the researcher was able, in collaboration with the Secretariat, derive 5 key perspectives which will guide initiatives of fulfilling the mandate of the researcher as indicated through the Memorandum of Understanding and the aspiration of SASSCAL. So the perspectives are actually crystallized into 5. We have internal processes, which is based on one of the first objective of the researcher, which I will read as work collaboratively with the SGSP IWR and PhD student supervisors to strengthen the capacity of the SGSP IWR and PhD students in designing and executing interdisciplinary research in line with key thematic research areas of the SGSP IWRM. So you will see from here that multidisciplinary are very, very key and embedded within the guiding principles of the values we live for as SASSCAL. So we also have a partnership one, strengthening the linkages between the SGSP, IWRM research and capacity building activities with key stakeholders such as river basin organizations, industry, local authorities, and other partners and associations through long-term partnerships. So we also have the one, the objective number 3, realized through collaborations, foster collaboration with renowned researchers and excellent scientists across the globe in supporting the SGSP IWRM scientific research outputs. We also have the dissemination and communication perspective or objective, facilitate the internalization of research and human capacity development in Southern Africa through the dissemination of knowledge and innovations from the SGSP IWRM. And lastly, we have the financial sustainability perspective, which is anchored from the objective on mobilizing alternative financial resources to support the SGSP IWRM scientific research activities and outputs. So the research chair was able to come up with a work plan which is anchored on these perspectives, in which each perspective have driving initiatives. And of course, these were put in a way that also we can monitor and look at the progress going forward. When you go to the work plan of the research chair, you're going to find that under internal processes, we have 11 initiatives. Under partnerships, we have 4 initiatives. Under collaborations, we have 2 initiatives. Under dissemination and communication, we have 7 initiatives, and under financial sustainability, we have 3 initiatives. So it's not that surprising to find internal processes dominating in terms of initiatives, but of course the plan is not cast in stone. We have created the program, the plan to be very dynamic, especially as sometimes we have low-hanging fruits that evolve out of the blues that we always have to take advantage of. Now, with regard to internal processes, why it's highly subscribed in terms of initiatives is because I'll use the analogy of water resources management, in which, in terms of conservation, was the use of capital development investment while you can conserve the already mobilized resource. I think this is based especially with regard to, we already have PhD students registered, and we have to fight towards seamless integration of the program within NAST, and that's why this is highly subscribed, to make sure that especially our students can progress. We try to support them, to give them the environment conducive enough, and create and embed the program nicely within NAST. This is where you have a lot of initiatives. Of course, we are moving fast. We are trying as much as possible to equally look at initiatives under other perspectives as much as possible. The results might not come immediately. We are looking both short-term, medium-term, and long-term. And at the end of the day, we think towards the end of this year, we'll start realizing a lot of initiatives. A lot of things are going in behind the curtains. And what I can say is that I have a very fantastic team of secretariat people who I'm working with closely with Reni. I usually refer to her as Reni. We are very close. And it is very good, and also the able leadership of the overall program and SASSCAL and embedded within NAST. We cannot ask for more. Everything is going as per plan. And as we start, of course, there are challenges. We are looking around, developing partnerships, synergies, trying to see how best we can embed the program within the global network of capacity building and impactful research. And with this, I wouldn't go into the individual initiatives. Allow me to converge to the concluding remarks. Of course, towards the course of this year, as a lot of initiatives will start bearing fruits, this is when we'll start reviewing and looking and repositioning, realigning, and asking for more support where need will be very much needed on case-by-case basis. So now, moving to concluding remarks, let me say water resources are an integral component of the ecosystem, a natural resource and a social and economic good that needs to be managed judiciously, as also our efforts as the program are within the space. IWRM is a cross-cutting sectoral policy approach designed to replace the traditional fragmented sectoral approach to water resources and management that has led to poor services, which has been based mostly on infrastructural development at the expense of stewardship, and thus imposing unsustainably on the ecosystems. And these are some of the gaps that the program is trying to address by capacitating and upskilling even those who are already in the workplace, and developing capacity at the higher level through our PhD program. The SADC Water Development Framework and its supporting strategies and plans highlight that the concept of IWRM offers solutions to deal with interlinked socioeconomic, institutional, and ethical challenges by assessing and managing water resources in space and time through an interdisciplinary and multi-sectoral approach, trying to take us away from working in silos as much as possible. Also, it is in this context that the program recognizes the exchange of knowledge between academia, governments, industry, and development partners as a precondition for the program of water resources management, land and related resources towards ideals of the sustainability agenda, in which by 2030 there should be some achievements as much as possible. We know that at the end of 2015, when Sustainable Development Goals took over from Millennium Development Goals, the Southern African region or the Sub-Saharan area was a little bit back in terms of, for example, for water quality. We're still looking at 2075 to attain the targets that were set by MDGs. In terms of water supply systems, we're still looking at 2040. So you can see that we have a lot of catch up to do as a region and to feed into the global sustainability agenda. So SGSP IRRM further recognizes that joint work by academics, researchers, policymakers, industry partners, and development partners in the SASSCAL countries, SADC region, Germany, and the world over will provide important benefits for postgraduate education, research, and innovation in the broad areas of integrated water resources management. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having listened to me. For the sake of time, I compressed my talk to be this short, but I look forward to a fruitful tenure as the SGSP IRRM, Researcher in Water Resources Quantity and Availability. Of course, I will count a lot on your support. We are still at the beginning, but we are hitting the ground running. Thank you so much.
And for those that were curious, why SASSCAL, ASEC, ICWRGC, NAST, BUAN decided to converge and look at a research in water resources quantity and availability. I think it still comes back to we need water to unlock socioeconomic development. So we need to look into the issues of the quantity as well as the quality, as well as access. Without the access, we are not able to unlock water to drive socioeconomic development. With that being said, thank you so much, Professor Malafi, for those words of wisdom. Thank you so much for sharing the vision of your CHEERS program. And we are really looking forward to having every stakeholder around the table and beyond, not particularly represented today, joining forces with you to see your vision come true. Thank you so much for your words. I would want to take this opportunity to invite Professor Othusitse Madibela, the Acting Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs and Research at the Botswana University of Agriculture and Natural Resources, to give his words and remarks. It was quite intentional to sandwich. We had wisdom, more wisdom, and now we are going to wrap it up with what supports the university, the Botswana University, University of Agriculture and Natural Resources will extend to Professor Malafi now that we know the vision that he has set for the program. Sir, welcome, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Director of Ceremony. Just to start with the recognition of those who are here, let me recognize the presence of the Vice Chancellor of NAST, Dr. Harold Namon. I hope I pronounced correctly. All the Deputy Vice Chancellors present, the Executive Director of SASSCAL, Dr. Jane, the Executive Director, Dr. Anna Madros, all the deans here present and directors, the heads of departments, BUAN staff, my colleagues, Prof. Ngako, the Dean of Research and Graduate Studies, the Manager, Communication and Marketing, all NAST staff, members of the press who are here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It gives me pleasure to be here in Namibia to sign this a memorandum of understanding with NAST. Actually, this is my third time here. The first two visits was courtesy of SASSCAL. So, and SASSCAL for the past decade, as far as I remember, have been helping with research. I know from my universities, and also visiting Namibia, that they have been very useful in the SADC research landscape, especially on land, water, resources, and issues of climate change. So the signing of this memorandum comes about because of interactions between the two universities, the staff of BUAN and NAST, and perhaps just to touch on what she said about the human face, that the relationship that we are establishing this morning on academic and research is important, but also remember the human relationships, and it's not new between our two countries. In the past, I think this relationship, we should reflect it based on the history, on the culture, and when your forefathers were seeking refuge, Botswana stretched a hand, and you found refuge in sanctuary in Botswana, and the language, the food. Yesterday, we've been attending the AAU conference of rectors, vice chancellors, and presidents of African universities, and when they were entertaining their, singing songs, dance, which similar to Botswana, the language, and you just feel at home, So and I think this relationship, which is based on history, on the southern African countries, is even more important. So, ladies and gentlemen, just a few overview of BUAN. BUAN is a public university and mandated to do research and teaching and outreach in agriculture and natural resources. As a university, BUAN is new, is young. It's a young university established by Act of Parliament in 2015. But as a college of agriculture, it goes back to the 1950s, where it was training certificate graduates in agriculture. Its vision is to become an innovative, research-intensive university in those sectors, agriculture and natural resources. So the focus of this strategy is on 4 areas of academic excellence, research intensiveness, entrepreneurship, and agile operations. Directors of ceremony, BUAN being a research and innovative university, seeks to serve as an engine of transformation, sustainability towards delivering sustainable development goals. This actually means that as an academic research and innovative institution, it needs to promote the role of agriculture, natural resources in tackling problems and challenges that are encountered by our society to create a sustainable and prosperous society, to create wealth for our people. Unlike some other countries, probably where there's some other resources, agriculture and natural resources, for our region, it should be the mainstay of development and wealth creation. So we have to take care of it, and that is through actually extending the knowledge to the upcoming generation, and also through research. So our strategy prioritizes food and nutrition security, stewardship of natural resources, like the chair has indicated, that's water, energy, land, and vegetation, through development, adaptation of novel research and innovation that will provide evidence to inform food system transformation for policymakers. It's always important that that information that we create through research find itself in the desk of those who are making policies. To be a research intensive and be able to attain academic excellence, BUAN aims to develop postgraduate programs, like I've indicated, young universities, so masters and PhD, to have a state-of-art research equipment and build research infrastructure. Here I will hasten to say that SASSCAL has been pivotal in actually helping BUAN to acquire some of those equipments. So we are grateful for SASSCAL, Dr. G. To carry applied research and technology transfer based on the needs of the society, like I've indicated about outreach, to source research funding from funders. So this type of relationship that we are creating this morning will go a long way in actually pulling us our resources and able to, as we seek that funding together. In the conference that I mentioned yesterday, a common theme throughout the presentations was about collaboration, coming together of the African universities, of course, with the support from our northern global north partners to actually put the resources and use them effectively to create this vision that we are doing. To have more partners and collaboration as we are assembling here this morning. To establish research centers. So to be able to push this research intensive vision that the University BUAN is having, we are establishing two research centers, the Center of Bioeconomy that will look at how we could do research in the primary productions of crops and animals, but also the value chain within that spectrum. And also the Center of Sustainable Resources, which this chair will find relevance. Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of signing this MOU is to promote cooperation between the two universities and in SASSCAL water resource availability and quantity and availability program. This comes up because of the need to address capacity building in SADC in the area of water. SADC has established the graduate studies program in integrated water resource management in partnership with the International Center for Water and Resource Global Change. It has been indicated before, funded by the German Ministry of Education and Research. Therefore, the research center chair, Prof. Moalafi, at BUAN will promote that vision of integrated systems of research, training, transformation, and documentation of water resource quantity and availability in the 5 SASSCAL countries which have already been mentioned, but also in the SADC region. And I think because research should be global, I think the fruits of this will also be shared with other countries and the world all over. So BUAN will support this endeavor and ensuring that the chair attends all the meetings. He will be able to submit reports. He has indicated that anyway. I should not seem as if I'm I'm instructing him, and provide facilities for his work. Ladies and gentlemen, he has indicated his activities. To conclude, the signing of this memorandum opens more collaboration, not only in this area, but other areas of agriculture, natural resources, science itself, technology. And BUAN is open for collaboration in student exchange. Yesterday, they were emphasizing student exchange. So I would like to see Namibian students in Botswana, in Zambia, in Angola, Botswana students in here. One student actually gave a compelling experience of exchange. The human face that you're talking about the cultural skills that she received when she was in South Africa. I think she's from West Africa, and I think that's what we should encourage and impact on the oncoming generations as they study. So the academic is very important, but how we interact with other people, and more especially that Africa wants to integrate, is the young people, the upcoming generation that will, be able to see that dream of African integration. So exchange of students, staff exchange, collaborative research, including consultancies, research visit. Therefore, the partnership brings expertise and knowledge together to help with this program. I would like to commend and thank NAST for providing this platform and SASSCAL. They continue being helpful in that endeavor. And so I'm looking forward to see you in Gaborone at BUAN soon as you can manage. Thank you.
Professor Madibela, thank you so much. I think one thing that SASSCAL can be so proud of is that not only has it forged collaboration, North-South collaboration, but it has also created a platform for South-South collaboration, and I think that's very important. And this particular research chair will actually demonstrate how sister universities that are also neighboring countries with similar challenges in terms of our arid environment can jointly work towards coming up with solutions to address the pressing water challenges within the two countries, the SASSCAL countries, as well as the SADC region. We will now proceed with our main agenda, ladies and gentlemen, this moment where we are looking forward to the signing of a memorandum of understanding to operationalize the SASSCAL Graduate Studies Program in Integrated Water Resources Management that was graciously established by SASSCAL in October of 2022. So it's nice to actually witness the signing of that particular MOU to operationalize our commitment towards research, innovation, and capacity building in integrated water resources management. I'm looking towards the team on my far left, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, and my Samadina. They are holders in front of you. I'm trying to invite you, all of you, and street holders and sign once again as a show of commitment that we are taking this collaboration forward. whilst the two representatives of NAST and BUAN are finalizing with the signing, I'm going to invite Dr. Anna Matros-Goresis to give her vote of thanks. And I'll also invite the delegates here represented to prepare for a group photo soon afterwards. Thank you. Dr. Anna Matros-Goresis.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies, and not to, of course, steal the thunder of the Vice Chancellors and Deputy Vice Chancellors signing. I would like to maybe just go ahead and give the vote of thanks as they are signing. Director of Ceremonies, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to stand on the protocol that was already established. I am in particular very, very deeply honored to give this vote of thanks this morning on behalf of NAST, but also in my capacity as the chair for the SASSCAL SGSP Advisory and Scientific Committee. I hope some of my committee members are there. I understood Dr. Gurare is virtually connected, and also some of our German partners. So I'd like to also just acknowledge their presence and indicate that this is on their behalf as well. Director of Ceremonies, we had a very brief but insightful ceremony this morning, and I would like to thank you. Thank you all for attending, and also the invited guests and the dignitaries. Allow me to now acknowledge our new partner, BUAN, through represented by Professor Madebele. Thank you so much, and definitely being a partner to NAST in particular, you have made the right choice, and I'm sure we have made the right choice. So thank you very much. Our chair, Professor Mwalafi, I had to practice a lot to say the surname properly, but after a couple of iterations, I'm there. I'm so proud to be able to say it. Professor Mwalafi, which already as alluded, really has this very exciting task of increasing the scientific research capacity and guidance and advice to our graduates through development of research and knowledge exchange and generation. I would like to sincerely thank him for accepting this particular task as well. And I'm sure he has given our graduates indeed much food for thought, and also sharing. Thank you, Prof, for sharing your rich experiences and invaluable wisdom, which we look forward to, as we've already experienced in so many occasions. The SASSCAL research chairs, I just want to briefly reiterate that it is there to enhance and develop the existing research strengths with the aim of really creating flagship programs. That Director of Ceremony already alluded to that in the areas of water security. And in the water sector, we all know when we talk about security, we are talking quantity, availability, access, reliability, and of course, quality. So at the same time, please allow me to acknowledge the presence of our NAS-UNESCO partnership within the framework of the UNESCO University Twinnings Network program. And we have our two UNESCO chairs. Please, the chair for Secure High Performance Computing for Higher Education, Professor Singh, and Dr. Amwele, which again, that particular chair is very much closely aligned to what we are doing here, and that's the chair for Sustainable Water Research for Climate Adaptation and Saline Agriculture in Arid Environments, Dr. Amwele. But I think if you can look at it, it is quite deeply connected as well. So again, thank you for our graduates, for your participation here and for your presence, and also your dedication and commitment. I see them leaving sometimes 10 o'clock at night, the offices. So the dedication is there, and we really encourage you to make use of the chairs and the resources that have been availed to you. As well as our postdoc, I would like to recognize that we have a postdoc, Dr. Mabuko, who also then supports this particular program. Finally, also, my gratitude really goes to SASSCAL, our international development partner. Your support is evident everywhere, Dr. Ovok, as you have seen. There is already collaboration happening in the research space, and we really appreciate your support, your guidance, but also for creating relevance in the SADC region. I think through this program, we have seen that quite a lot. Marketing, our marketing team, media, represented here, and the trip department. Also, thank you so much for the excellent logistical arrangements and having had a very well-run program. Again, I probably said lastly so many times, but really allow me to extend my sincere appreciation to the NAST executive management, the leaders, the faculty deans, for your support and guidance, the supervisors as well, but also for your understanding and the thought leadership, where you are really sharing the common passion that we are sharing to ensure that this particular program is a success. I know we've ran to our academic DBC, who is not here today, so many times to say, please, we need HTC special meetings to ensure the program runs successfully. But also, I trust that the leadership also in their minds have institutionalized the sustainability of this program, and we are already looking forward to many, many more cohorts, Dr. Owat, for this particular one. I would like to end off, of course, with the Secretariat, and as I'm handing over to the Director of Ceremonies, please, your efforts, your passion, your eagerness to make things happen is noted and appreciated. And sometimes maybe you run too fast ahead of all of us, but I know your heart is in the right place, Madam Director. And I really would like to thank you, because I can safely entrust you to run with the SGSB program and the operations. So we would like to just extend that thank you. So with that, please accept my humble vote of thanks this morning. And I hope that together we will lay, and I come back to where the VC started with emphasis on the innovative internationalization of research and human capacity development. Thank you so much.
It's an interesting moment where you have to thank the person who has done the vote of thanks. Thank you, Dr. Anna Matros-Gorisis, for giving the vote of thanks. And, you know, true to the African culture, we always celebrate a good thing. And because we don't have time for music and dance, I'm going to invite two of the SGSP doctoral students to just hand over gifts to the Vice Chancellor. Oh, yes, yes. That moment. We shake it. Yes, thank you. Congratulations to the two universities, and thank you so much for the leadership from Dr. Nawamab and the leadership from BUAN, represented by Professor Madibela. I will now invite my two colleagues to just show our appreciation of this moment as a way to celebrate and to show that a relationship is going to continue growing. We're going to nurture it as it goes along. Mr. Sishilema and Miss Lima. Yes, thank you so much. Before you settle down, I'm kindly inviting the two Vice Chancellors, Executive Management, to be ushered out in preparation for the group photograph, and the rest of us follow, and will be guided by Ms. Kuda Brandt in terms of the standing arrangement. I always say some photographs cannot be official because of the standing and sitting arrangement. So you are kindly invited, ladies and gentlemen, for the group photo. And Dr. Jane Olwak, you say this is home? Indeed. We also consider you part of our executive management. So you join the executive management, then the rest of us follow thereafter. Thank you. Thank you. Before my colleague here is Ms. Brandt, following the group photograph, there's going to be a tour of the HTTPS, and we'll also kindly invite our delegation from BUAN. They will be led by Ms. Kuda Brandt to the HTTPS, and you're all invited as we are going to have our networking event in that particular floor. Thank you very much.